Hi everyone, this is Killshot from 99 Gaming. This is The Walking Dead Season 10. We're going to talk about the next war. There's some good information that came out. Some tidbits are starting to be released before the Comic-Con event. So got some good stuff. We're going to read between the lines tonight. Before we get too far into this, do want to give a shout out to all the Patreons. Thank you so much for everything that you guys do. You can see them up on the screen. You guys are absolutely incredible and amazing. And also, we got a special birthday announcement. Do want to give a shout out to one of our very own moderators, Steph, the Cuervo Queen. Happy birthday to you. If you guys could do me a favor and just show the green team. Let's see the moderator up there. Let's see that bottle of Cuervo. And we're going to get into tonight's stream. We got a lot of good information. We had a couple people stop in that don't even listen to the stream that gave this video a thumbs down. I don't even know who they are, but do me a favor. Everybody in here right now, as we pack this house, give this video a thumbs up. Show the trolls that we ain't going to stand for it. So, Angela Kang has done it again. She is amazing. She likes to do these interviews and just give us a little bit of just reaffirming what we've been talking about. So we talked about how dark, how chilling this season is going to become. And lo and behold, article came out this week, and it said that the season is going to focus on PTSD, paranoia, and trauma. It's very serious issues, and the way they're going to do it, I've been waiting for this for a little while. So when we saw Rick's group, and we affectionately like to refer to Rick after the Abraham and Glenn beatdown as Snot Bubble Rick, yes, the group was, they were going through some rough times. We're going to see kind of a similar storyline to that, but a little bit more paranoia than just the outright fear. We got Fluff the Flamethrower. Happy birthday to the Cuervo Queen. He's going big. He is actually super chatting it up there. Thanks so much, Flamethrower. Appreciate that. And, yeah, Steph is old enough to drink now. Finally. So you guys can see the Cuervo bottles that are up there. So here's the way we talked about it a couple weeks ago. If you guys have been to a lot of our streams, you know we talked about a dark, chilling effect. We made a prediction that, and I don't know if it's going to happen exactly like this. The Walking Dead nerd will let me know on Friday. But we said this trailer could potentially have Rosita, could have a baby situation. And I know it got dark. People were talking about her being abused or Alpha torturing her. But let me tell you something that Angela Kang said in an interview, which is very, very disturbing. And also, she used a play on words. She didn't say Rosita had the baby. So think about that for a second. They talked about the time skip, and the time skip is beyond Rosita's baby, but she talked about all the events that were going on and said Rosita's pregnancy has played out. Did not say Rosita had a nice baby and they're having the struggles of having another child. So I think that's interesting in a couple different ways, because she could have had a miscarriage. She could have chose not to have the baby. She could have had the baby, and because of all the fear, like, I'm not going to be able to protect this baby. I'm going to be weak. How am I going to go? How am I going to handle myself? So interesting situation. Now, the other thing that's there is we do still have Alpha, and Alpha's connection perhaps to Rosita, and maybe this is going to get a little more dark and twisted than we thought. So part of the psychology, and one thing that Angela Kang talked about was how the group is just so disturbed at the way the Whisperers do war. Like in the past war, she said, look, it was about guns, they were fighting, but the way that Alpha snuck into the kingdom and tricked everybody has got our entire group is paranoid. They don't know who they can trust. Now, that's bad, but how many people are Negan fans here? Just a show of hands. How many people are like, yes, I'm over it. Negan is going to be back. He's going to be a hero. Judas said he's going to be a hero. How many? Because this is going to be good news for you. A lot of people are, and you're probably going to like my justification and my rationale behind this. Okay, with all the paranoia and all the trauma and all the mistrust and problems out there, Negan's status just got elevated. And this is what I mean by that. If you can't trust anybody, it's a completely level playing field. So it appears to me that the way that Alpha snuck in and tricked people, there's a whole lot of other Whispers that they don't know what they look like. A lot of them. So I think that's a card that's going to be played over and over again. Now, do you guys remember when we did the stream it was last season, and they crossed through the ice? They went on Alpha's territory, and I stated, the Whispers know that they're there. I don't care if it's wintertime. I don't care if most of the Whispers have migrated back. The Whispers know that they broke the rules, that they trespassed. There are going to be consequences for that little journey that they took over Alpha's land. That's where I think it's going to start to escalate. The Whispers knew they were there. Rosita's pregnant. They got people in mass that we don't know who they are. I think we're going to get to see an infiltration part 2. And that's what's going to push the group over the edge. Because one of the most disturbing moments of Walking Dead history, I think, was 6/16, 7/1, you know. And, you know, and it's like, where's it coming from? How many are there? How are they communicating? Who's watching? The writers played really, really big on our emotions there. It was creepy. It was dark. It was sinister. So this group that we have, and this is what I need to remind everybody of, because we do these streams sometimes. You know, a lot of you guys will say, no, our group is resilient. You know, Daryl's going to kick somebody's ass, and we're going to do this, we're going to do that. But let me remind you, a lot of this group has seen the decapitation, well, a few of this group, of Herschel, Terminus, the Saviors. What does 2 or 3 wars do to you? Does it toughen you? Does it harden you? Does it get you battle tested? All of those things? Or, as we predicted, and as Angela Kang is now confirming, I absolutely love this, it wears you down. It breaks you. It makes you wonder if it's ever going to end. The PTSD, the paranoia, the trauma is real. So to watch that play out where, all right, we need to fight. Go get some guns. We don't have any guns. Now, this group's got to go hand-to-hand combat with people that got a better strategy. For the most part, might be younger and stronger. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that our group has matured, and you know they're ready to settle and to rebuild society and to farm. And Alpha's group is not. Alpha's group is hungry to take over. So, Steph, that's exactly right. We're going to see some insanity this season. We're going to see some people that don't know, you know, where it's coming from next, kind of like that. You know, so if we want to meet anybody new to the group or accept them, how do we know who they are? How do we trust anybody anymore? They can't. So the spirit is going to be gone. This particular picture is very interesting. And in the zoomed out picture, this is from Entertainment Weekly, exclusive. These two are Whispers. These are not walkers. So you got a whisperer camp. How do I know it's a whisperer camp? There's 2 whispers there. And also, I want you to pay attention. If you look at the back left corner, I don't know if you remember the scene where Alpha had all the people there. There was a something that, like a log that went across that she hung her mask on. It was a little bit higher up. So where that fire is, that looks like that area from last season. So I'm pretty convinced not only are these whispers that are in the woods, I think this is the actual whisperer camp. And I don't know when this is, but this is Michonne burning, taking out some frustration. Now, is this in response to something else? Or the bigger question, is this, it's kind of like what came first, the chicken or the egg? Has Alpha already punished our group for trespassing, and this is Michonne getting back, or is this Michonne taking out some of them and Alpha will continue to punish? It's a very big question. We don't know the answer to that question right now. We're probably on Friday. We're going to get the Comic-Con trailer. We're going to get our sneak peek. So it's going to be, there's going to be a lot of speculation. I still expect it to be the darkest, most psychologically disturbing teaser we've ever seen. All right. I'm going to call on a couple people because I want to get some of your comments included in here. One of the things that with the trespassing situation, we've speculated that we will see a second border scene. I don't know if we're going to see all of it. I mean, that could be the way the season starts out. It could start with that border scene, and then they gradually tell the story. But there is going to be a little bit of backstory. Angela Kang did reveal that. So when the way she did the interview, I felt so good about our last couple streams. Because, we said perhaps we're going to see some heads on pikes, and then they're going to go back and tell a little bit of that story. So I don't think they're going to go way, way back to Alpha, when little Lydia was there. They've already told that. So I think this little mini time skip, we're going to get to see bits and pieces of it throughout the first couple episodes. Amy, I don't even know if it's going to be a character backstory. And now, granted, I'm not saying that there's not fans that wouldn't want to see a Beta backstory. I just don't. I wouldn't bet on that right now unless Beta becomes somebody that is redeemable. And I will say this. Of all the whispers I've seen up to this point, Beta's the one that makes me wonder if he's as loyal to Alpha in the TV show as he is in the comics. Now, in the comics, he's loyal to death. So I feel like that's going to hold true. So Chris says that Carol wants to fight. And Chris, here's the thing. I don't know. I don't know who wants to fight at this point, who has to fight, because the other thing that Angela Kang unveiled is says, our group has been living under Whisperer rules. Now let's let that sink in just for a couple minutes. Now, there's going to be some Walking Dead purist out there. This is where we got to have a separation between our group when Rick Grimes was around and our group right now. So, and what I mean by Walking Dead purist is that, no, they got something up their sleeve. They're just rebuilding. They're regrouping. I don't think that's the case. I don't think they're rebuilding and recruiting and looking for an opportunity to strike back. If they've been living under Alpha's rules and Whisper rules, they're weak. And it's going to take something to push them over the edge where they have no choice but to fight. Jacob says they're scared. I agree with that. Julia Muse, I agree with that too. No Rick. Now we're starting to see the detriment of Rick being gone. Now we're starting to see that someone will step up. And see, Walking Dead nerd, that would be the type of spark that I could definitely see as well. When Angela Kang said that that's played out, if Alpha killed Rosita, Rosita would be the martyr. Killing a pregnant Rosita, or even killing Rosita and taking her baby, would be... I know some people say they're not going to do it. I don't think Rosita makes it past this season. I think Rosita's dead. I really do. I don't know if it's going to happen that way, but I certainly don't think she's going to make it past this season. E. Beach, they won't want to fight unless Negan leads them to victory. Well, I feel like, and this is based on some of our funneling, some of our own speculation, and some of what Angela Kang is starting to tell us, is, look, here's what we got. So let's funnel it a little bit. Anybody want to funnel a theory before we leave here tonight? Who wants to come up with something big, something that we think is going to happen? Because I think we're on the verge of it. We've got enough facts, enough details that we might not be able to get to obvious, but I think we can get close. All right, looks like we got a few. RTD Slayer says, I think Kara will want to fight and Michonne will not want to. Then Kara will let Negan out and Negan will get Alpha's head and start a war. So, Slayer, prior to that happening, because certainly that could happen, but that's like one episode. So we've got 3, 4, 5 things that we got to fill in the blanks. So we're going to funnel some things down. All right. Fact. Alpha knows the group. Well, let's do this. We'll do a little fact. Fact or fiction? Alpha knows the group trespassed. We think that's a fact, all right? Fact or fiction? Alpha said at the end of last season, I feel like I'm getting weak, and she had Beta beat her a little bit. We're going to connect the dots here, so stick with me, everybody. It's fact. And they left evidence. So if Alpha feels she's getting weak, and the group just broke her rules, there will be conflict. Fact or fiction, there will be conflict. Fact. All right. So now we know that Alpha will have to do something that's going to further. This is why I said, is it the chicken or the egg? So now Alpha is going to have to strike again to prove her point. So it's one thing. I don't think she's going to show up and say, your people crossed into our land. I will give you a free pass this time. No, it's not the way it's going to happen. She's going to punish them even further. So I think the season starts with more trauma, more paranoia, and the way she's going to punish them is probably sneak up on them again. Anybody thinking that taking a pregnant Rosita might send a message to the group? Let's funnel that down. How many people think there's a price to pay? Rosita got head put on a pike in the comics. We thought she was out of the woods. So certainly, they infiltrate, take Rosita. Something horrible happens to Rosita. Put her head on a pike. I think that does two things. I think that sends a message to everybody. But it also, don't we need something? All right, if we're going to funnel this down, we know the only way our group's going to fight back is if they're desperate. They have to get fight or flight. They have to be like a caged animal. I can't take any more. It's not going to get any better. She's going to keep doing this to us. So if you don't buy into the Rosita is the spark, give me a spark. Ellis, Gabriel does not do it. Gabriel, that's not going to... that's weak. It's so weak. Who in the group cares about Father G? Judith, certainly. RJ, certainly. It's got to be either a monumental death, something that we have not seen before, or one of the kids. Now, the kids don't have to die. So I'm going to give you my top 3 options of Alpha sending a message. Rosita, number 1. Judith kidnapped, or RJ. But Julia Muse says kids kidnapped. Here's why I'm going to say Judith and RJ 2 and 3. If you're not going to... I don't know that kidnapping in a zombie apocalypse is that big of a deal. I mean, what's Alpha's thing? If we think of Alpha, what is she most known for? And I think they have to stay true to this. And why I'm asking this question, do it to the like button, please. Alpha's known for the pikes. She's known for cutting off people's heads and putting them on a pike. E. Beach, could they kill RJ? No, I don't think so. this is why I'm going to say we're still funneling. And, as Ellis Smith said a minute ago, we can disagree. I mean, that's the whole purpose of funneling. I'm going to kind of lead the conversation, but I'm going to extract as much info out of you guys, and let's come up with something. So Judith doesn't die. RJ, I think RJ is the future. So I'm gonna weigh those a little lighter. Now, an Ezekiel death could certainly spark the same type of response as Rosita. So I'm going to put Ezekiel to the side, and I'm going to tell you why. All right, so I think Rosita and Ezekiel would be tied for number one. Judith and RJ slightly below that because they're not going to kill Judith and RJ, but they could kidnap them. I agree, Jack Carr. Zeke makes as much sense as Ezekiel, and here's why, okay? If Ezekiel gets put on a pike, that affects Carol big time, Daryl big time, because Daryl's going to have that sense of, maybe I shouldn't have been so nice to my buddy Carol. I should have helped him work it out. And Michonne and Ezekiel have a strong relationship as well. And Jerry and Ezekiel have a strong relationship. So you got some big players here with Ezekiel. Now, Rosita, obviously because of Eugene. Siddiq, Father G, Daryl. There's a lot of connections. I think Rosita might be slightly more, but one of those two are going to end up on a pike. And I'm going to go back to something that we talked about, but I'm not going to be as dark and as disturbing as Tom Bug Ferreira was. But what if they don't necessarily torture Rosita outright? What if they kidnap Rosita, deliver her baby, and then kill Rosita? Not quite the same as killing a pregnant woman. Taking her baby. And what if they actually have the creativity to put Rosita's head on a pike and make us wonder how it went down? Right, it's almost as bad, but not quite the same as some of the really, really disturbing images. Well, Frankie, see, that we don't know. Frankie says Rosita had her baby, but that's not what Angela Kang said. She said that's all played out. So she didn't give the impression of whether she died, whether the baby's there, whether she miscarried the baby. And she was very, very careful. Nothing specific. There's nothing specific that has said it's been a slight. Here's all I've heard on the time skip. There's a slight time skip, and she said, as she knows, or she said, as the audience knows, Rosita was pregnant. She was showing, and that's played out. So, not a big time skip, a small time skip, couple of months, probably. But don't quote me as saying a couple months, because they're not going to say exactly what the time frame is. Rosita was showing, she was intentionally showing, I don't know how many months she was. I don't know if she was 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, whatever the case may be. But that's played out. And I'm going to go back to something that happened last year. Do you guys remember when we were funneling the Rick Grimes theory? Of course you do. We did hundreds of streams talking about it. And what's the one thing that I kept basing our conversations and my theories on of why Rick Grimes was not dead? Actually, there were two things. I'll give you one of them. One was the Walking Dead universe needs a Rick Grimes in it somewhere. But how many people remember the one argument that I kept making over and over again and said, no one has said Rick Grimes has died. Nobody. Not even a slip or a mistake or a conversation. Not even a creepy, any spoiler. Nowhere could we find anything last year that said the death of Rick Grimes. And we kept going back and saying, look, and there were a lot of people out there that were saying, Rick's dead, Rick's dead. We funneled it. We talked about what would happen if Rick could die this way or that way. Well, Julia, it's not even they knew better. They knew the truth. It's not a matter of knowing can you do it or can you not do it, because spoilers always leak. But if they don't say death, it means it didn't happen. So the Rosita pregnancy is not clearly to the level of Rick Grimes, but the fact that Angela Kang carefully uses her words implies at a minimum that Rosita did not have her baby under normal circumstances. That they set us up with the pregnancy to add some mystery around the pregnancy. Rosita's character has been diminished over the last half of season. Her pregnancy has been highlighted. The state of her pregnancy has been overplayed. It's like, let's put this pregnant woman in front of you and talk about it over and over again, so subconsciously you're thinking not about her baby, but you're thinking about how far along her baby is, the time skip. And there's got to be something that is big with Rosita's baby. June Smith, do you think Negan will be killed off in season 10? I believe is likely. I would say no way. Zero chance of that happening, June Smith. Not going to kill off the second biggest star on the show after Michonne leaves. No way. There's Daryl, and then there's Negan. That's 1 and 2. And so it ain't going to happen. So let me jump back into this, because I think it's important to funnel this down. So, pregnant Rosita, more evil Alpha, Angela Kang talking about a time skip and that Rosita's pregnancy has played out. Now, there's a lot of other ways she could have said this. She could have said, our group is dealing with the challenges of another baby, and Rosita and Siddiq are proud parents. I mean, there's a lot of buzzwords she could have used about the challenges, but she didn't. So I would not be surprised. And look, we've picked 4 pretty good instigators. Judith, RJ, but bigger instigators would be Rosita and Ezekiel. So I ask you again, whether you agree with this or disagree with it, you may say, hey, kills, it ain't going to happen this way, and that's cool. But can you think of a bigger spark to scare some people and to force them to fight the way Michonne's fighting right now, than taking Rosita, taking her baby, and putting her head on a pike? Anything more gruesome? And imagine the psychological horror of Rosita having her baby and not getting her baby and Alpha killing her. That would certainly be up there with the Glenn death, if not superseding the Glenn death. Walking Dead Nerd says, I totally see it kills. Alpha can't show she's weak, and they were warned. It establishes Alpha's dominance. It establishes Alpha's ruthlessness. We know Alpha's not afraid to throw children to walkers. That's not what I'm saying, Kimberly. I'm not saying that they're going to kill Rosita's baby. What I'm saying is, they deliver Rosita's baby, take Rosita's baby, and kill Rosita. And they certainly would have no problem killing an adult or killing one of our own. And I know it's walking the line. Killing a baby... Killing a newborn baby's mom? Twisted. And if we're talking about characters dealing with paranoia, PTSD, trauma, it would put her on a whole different level. I don't feel like The Walking Dead's going to be PG rated this season. The best they had last year was a border scene with some animated heads. See, that's kind of, Amy Ferreira, that's kind of my point. And Amy hit it on the head here. Rosita's taken and killed. Alpha uses her head on a pike and the baby as a bargaining chip. That's exactly the type of cold-hearted leverage that Alpha... I have a hard time using this word. Alpha needs. Well, whether it's a bargaining chip or whether it's leverage, it's meant to send a ripple effect to everybody. Don't trespass. Leave us alone. Don't break our rules. I should have typed it because Amy Ferrero just super chatted what I've been saying for the last 10 minutes, and I've had several people say, but no kills, they're not going to kill a baby on TV. I didn't say they were going to kill a baby. I think some people got bits and pieces. Thank you for putting that up there, Amy. I think when it's in print, it's easier. No, Lynn, it's not that Rosita trespasses. The group has already broke the rules. See, this is kind of where we started funneling this at the beginning. Alpha knows the group crossed over the snowbank. They were at the border scene. How would Alpha know that they were at the border? We got Dalton Mann. Brand new member. You guys do me a favor. Can we welcome Dalton to the crew, to the green team? Thank you so much. Didn't Lydia? No, the snow's melted. But didn't Lydia put something on the ground? At Henry's pike? I'm pretty sure she left something there. Right, the medallion. So there's your proof, the hilltop necklace. Now, if they've, the snow melted. So Alpha's probably down, getting a suntan, having a margarita, a couple beverages, and then they come back. And then she checks the border, and they find some necklace, then, hey, necklace didn't put itself there. Yeah, I mean, Amy, there were, but once again, we don't know the time frame. 3 or 4 months, those slashed up walkers, they could have, rotted, been eaten by other things. Okay, Well, I'm not going into this blindly for those of you that want to play devil's advocate. I also know for a fact in an interview with Angela Kang, she also referenced the fact that the group has trespassed. So, I mean, I appreciate the other opposition to it, but these are in conjunction one with another. Which is why when we started funneling this, we said Alpha knows the group has trespassed. And then we take into account of two big things that we saw last season. June Smith. PTSD has been in the group for a while, and if they dealt with the governor, surely they will defeat the Whispers. And fear will help them fight. It's not like June. See, I disagree with some of that. PTSD is not like a virus or a bacteria or a situation. It's a psychological disorder that is specific to specific people. So you can't really say the group has dealt with this. It's not like a flu and they say, okay, we're going to get over it. It's like, think of the event as a core and the other things that happen as like peels from an onion. And what happens is you continue to peel back a layer and then another layer. And a lot of times it doesn't manifest itself until there's a downtime or time to reflect and understand what just happened. And what this group has been doing is they've been putting another event and another event and another event. So I don't think it's something, June, where they're just going to shrug it off. I think some people are going to lose their mind. I think some people are going to dig deeper and fight. I think some people, and we haven't talked about this, are going to join the winning team. We talked about trauma and we talked about PTSD, but what I want to talk about is paranoia. And paranoia is that feeling of somebody's out to get me, somebody's watching me, somebody's a spy. I think we're going to have people that rat on people, people that defect, people that don't want to live this way. That's a whole different element. So now you've got the fear factor, the pain of loss, the lack of trust. Well, it depends, Anna. Anna says it's not paranoia if they are really out to get you. No. The paranoia doesn't have to be 24/7. It doesn't have to be Alpha out to get them. The paranoia could be, I don't trust Siddiq. Why did he get to live? The paranoia could be, I mean, it could be in a lot of different forms. If you're talking specific to the Whispers and there's an event that validates, certainly. But as I said earlier, it's also going to reestablish the Negan character. Eric Beach wants to know what characters are most likely to defect. RTD Slayer says Siddiq is a snake. Well, I would strongly agree that if someone is going to be a traitor, a lot of people touched on this last year. Siddiq. But why could Siddiq possibly be a traitor now as opposed to last year? Grimes on the radio says Siddiq's not a snake. Heart of Nixie says Siddiq is fine. Jack says to protect his baby. All right, let me go back to the PTSD situation. How many of you saw what Alpha did at the border scene? Show of hands. How many people saw what Alpha did to Tara? None of you did. How many people saw what Alpha did to Henry? Nobody did. Siddiq is the only person. Hang on. I want you guys, and if this doesn't make the hair on the back of your neck stand up, I don't know what will. All of us had to envision what Alpha did to those people. Siddiq is the only person that had to be tied up and watch person by person get decapitated. Their head put on a... I want you to think about this for a second. This didn't happen in 5 minutes. This was an event. This was a festivity. The sickness that we know is Alpha, that we didn't get to see as viewers, he witnessed every single bit of it. He witnessed the worst event in the history of The Walking Dead. Worse than Glenn, worse than Abraham. You know why it wasn't worse to us as viewers? Because we didn't see it. But Siddiq had no choice. So if you don't think he's carrying that right now, and he is scared to death. He gave that speech like, she left me alive so I could tell this story. That's certainly a part of the backstory. But Siddiq could be a traitor for a couple different reasons. One, he could be scared to death. Number two, he could feel like Alpha spared me and I owe her. Or number three, it could be, I don't care about Rosita because, she bolted with Father G anyway, but I care about the baby. So, there's a lot of people out there that are, Siddiq's fine, he's fine. Is it possible that Siddiq is not happy about the Father G Rosita situation? He's already lost her. Maybe he doesn't care what happens to Rosita. Now, some people, Siddiq's a nice guy. He wouldn't think like that. Are you sure? Will the bill? We will see the second one. Will we see the second one? Get ready. The second one what, Will? The second Pike. Oh, it's the second Pike scene. See, I agree. So, look, I know there's a group of people that says Siddiq's going to be loyal. He's going to be there till the end. He's okay being a third wheel. But is there a group of people that could certainly say Siddiq's traumatized? He's not happy with Rosita being with father, not the father. And would pull a Spencer to keep himself and his baby safe. Just something to kind of let manifest. But of all the things we talked about, the one thing that I really want you to kind of get in character is don't take what Siddiq witnessed lightly, and that there's not going to be some effect. And let me also say this. He's a tremendous actor. If anybody that I've seen, based on how well he did last season, could pull off a paranoia, looking over my shoulder type of approach, like waking up, is it possible? Hold on, I got something else for you guys. We might see this. Dalton Mann, who will let out Negan? Alden, Dante, or someone else? I think Alden will be the one to do it for a few reasons. He's seen Negan conquer others before. I think Michonne will accept Negan. I think Negan will be put in a situation where he has to help. So here's why I bring this up, and this is the way I would write it. Based on what Siddiq saw, possible that he wakes up, cold sweats, and has nightmares about it? He's seen something nobody in the history of Walking Dead on television shows ever seen. Not that much. Well, Beta saw it, Alpha saw it, the Whispers. So, all the Whispers saw it. But they're used to it. Is it possible that maybe some of that time skip, we see Siddiq waking up, and that we do get to see some of that play out this season? So our bold prediction, I know we got a couple more days, and we'll touch on this tomorrow night as well, because we're almost at an hour. And this deserves a follow-up. Because I can't just leave all the topics hanging. So I'm going to ask the group right now before we wind it down. If you guys want to do a part 2 to this stream tomorrow night, funnel it down a little bit further. It'll be Wednesday. We're only a couple days away from the teaser and the trailer. We're going to add a few more elements to give us about 24 hours to really break it down a little bit more, to talk about. I am really, really intrigued by the psychological disorders that the group is going to struggle through this season. I know it's always been there, but a lot of times it's glossed over. And I think it's a very serious conversation topic, and it could be something that gives that chill back to the first couple seasons of The Walking Dead. All right, everybody. So tonight we talked about how this next war could play out. I think we got some really good theories. If you guys had a good time tonight, give this video a thumbs up. We had a few more people pop in on multiple counts. Hey, they don't like what we talked about. It's all good. every night is going to be a different night. Every night's going to be a different topic. So if you guys do enjoy the funnel, you do want to talk about this tomorrow night, then do me a favor, pike that like button. Thank you so much for everything that you guys do. Appreciate the group. Do want to give a couple more shout outs. Want to give a happy birthday shout out to Steph the Cuervo Queen one more time. Also, the Patreons in the top left-hand corner. The channel members, we got a brand new channel member. Thank you so much, Dalton. Appreciate you being here. The moderators, Emmy, Steph, Tommy, Kells, and also all the super chatters that were here tonight. You guys are absolutely phenomenal. No, we're not going to storm Area 51. We're going to stay here and watch the people that storm it. Steph. But we will storm YouTube and have some neat stuff to talk about. So tomorrow night, another Walking Dead topic. Thursday night, we'll do our bold predictions for Fear the Walking Dead, mid-season finale. Friday night is going to be, we might do double streams on Friday. We'll probably do a trailer reaction to Comic-Con, and also we will do our Freestyle Friday. And this weekend, of course, we're going to have a lot of good stuff to talk about with Comic-Con trailer and also Fear the Walking Dead. Thanks, everybody, for everything that you guys do. I will see you all at 9:30 tomorrow night. Awesome group tonight. Appreciate you guys. And if you guys don't know what we're about, this is what we do. We get together. We have some good, lively, energetic, passionate debate. And we come up with some pretty good ideas. So I will talk to you all tomorrow night. Peace.